Hello friends, you're with a Lonesome Gamer, and I'm playing Dungeon Universalis. Now we're in the mission where we have to kill a giant. I think it's mission 10 of the campaign, but it's not my 10th mission. It's just that, you know, the mission log kind of guides you to go to that mission. And we've encountered 3 giant spiders here. And I think in general these spiders are not that dangerous, but the problem is we don't want to use or spend too many of our resources like fortune points or potions on these guys, because we're going to need them when we're going to fight that boss creature. It's a 20-point creature. The dungeon or the dark player had to spend 20 points for the boss creature. So therefore I think we can expect quite some horror there. Okay, so let's start this battle now. So let's have again a look at the great spiders here. 6 is their movement value, so they are quite fast. 3 is their combat value, that's not too impressive. Strength of 3. 4 as an armor value is, well, yeah, that's not bad. 3 agility, no brain. Courage 4 and life points 4, so not that easy to kill. And they do 3 damage. And they, let's see, yeah, they're poisonous, which, if it causes the loss of at least 1 life point, roll 1d6. If the result equals or exceeds the enemy natural armor, it will get the condition poisoned and will lose 1 extra point. So that doesn't sound good at all. Okay, so first we got to do the initiative roll, probably the most important roll in the combat. And now they have a perception of 0, and I think there are no modifiers here. And the scout, who is closest and revealed the section, he has a +1. But not that one. So he simply has a +1. That's not too great. So yeah, I expected a little more from him, but he only seems to have a +1 because the eagle eye only works for traps, halls, or in secret doors. But yeah, that's it. Because he's small, he gets +1 perception. Not even because he's a scout. That is really strange. Yeah. Okay. Well, then let's hope for the best. Okay, we just made it. We got a 6. They also have a 6. So the +1 was good enough here. That's a good start, a lucky start for me. And that allows us now to do the first attack. So let's figure out how we want to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. Yeah, I guess I want to shoot with my crossbow at this. That makes sense, probably. Yeah. I think I want to shoot with my crossbow at this creature here. So that means I get a 5 shooting value. So I'm going to need a 5. Which I have, and I have a critical, which is very good. So the crossbow does 4 damage dice. So I get 5 damage dice, and I can subtract 1 from the armor. So they only have an armor of 3 anyway. But wait a second. I think because I'm small, yeah, I get 1 damage die less when using projectile weapons. So that's not that great. So that means it brings me down to 4. Oh boy. This guy is really not that good. But we'll see. Maybe he's a genius in fighting. So let's find out. Okay, that wasn't great at all. So just 2 damage here. And, you know, I think I'm going to accept that. I'm not going to reroll here. As I already said, we're probably going to need the fortune for later problems. So yeah, I'm gonna use that. There we go. And so this creature has 2 wounds now. And then I'm gonna exchange the crossbow, which is fired, with my short bow. That makes sense. That gives me the option to do a defensive roll. A defensive shot next turn. So maybe that's a good idea. Okay, so the dwarf will activate and move 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. And he's going to attack that spider right here. So he's got a 4, and the spider has a 3. Yeah, that's not good enough. So sadly, it was close, but wasn't good enough. Okay, now last comes the wizard. And you know, I'm actually moving here. And this is not blocked. This thing, I think this here, these 4 squares are blocked. So that means this is light cover for the spider. So I guess I gotta subtract 1. And what I want to do is I'm going to exchange the staff with a dagger. I might actually exchange it with 2 daggers. And I'm going to throw one of them at the spider. So let's see, we got I'm going to check here the modifiers. I think we simply get wait a minute, it's not large, it's not small. Stationary, moving, and I moved, which gives me a -1. But I only moved 1 space. Yeah, so it's only a -1. And nope, will not be applied to throwing weapons when only 1 or 2 squares have been moved. Okay, so I don't take that modifier, but there's light cover, so I get a -1. And this is it. It's pretty close, 3 squares, so there's no penalty. So, but it's not easy. I need an 8 to hit. Oh boy, that's tough. I'm not good in shooting. Oh yeah, let's see. And I have an 8, and I even have a critical. So that was pretty good. And that means the dagger, and we can flip this now because it's gone, but we can grab it at the end of the combat. The dagger gives me yeah, the dagger gives me strength. My strength is the damage value and 1 for the critical, so that means I do 4 damage, or 4 damage dice. And these are 2 more hits, a 4, twice a 4, so that's pretty cool. That means that we managed to kill the first spider. That was a little risky. I just realized if I would have failed here, and if I would have rolled a 1, I would have hit the dwarf. So I was lucky there. Okay, this is it now, and now the dwarf has to deal with these 2 beasts. That could be a problem. So let's see. First, this thing activates. Already engaged, so let's hope he's not doing too bad here. Oh boy, he is. So he loses that, and now the spider does damage. And we're talking 3, and he really does not want to get a damage here. So the 5 is bad. I think the 5 is actually a damage. Yeah. So is there anything we can do about it? I'm pretty sure that is not the case. So it seems we take a wound, and in addition to that, we're poisoned. Oh boy. That wasn't good. That is pretty bad. No, only on a d6. Okay, so we can roll again, but we gotta be very lucky now. Well, we are tough, so we get a +1 whenever he rolled to avoid the condition stunned, diseased, and poisoned. So that means a 1 to 3, and we're good. Of course we're not, so we're poisoned. Okay, so the guy is poisoned. I'm not sure if this is the correct marker, but I'm going to use it. It's actually not that bad. It is the same as stunned, so he gets a -1 on all his, on most of his abilities, except for armor and stuff like that. But in difference to stunned, he cannot try to get rid of it at the beginning of his turn. He basically, this thing goes on forever until he does something specific against that. He could, for example, take a healing potion and then then he's fine. So it's not terrible. It's not like, okay, you lose 1 point every turn or something like that. But it's not good either. Okay, so now let's see. Next it's the other guy. And he goes after the enemy with the lowest hit point, with the lowest armor. So this guy has 3, but a leather armor, so that's 4. So I guess it's the wizard, and she has. So the other guy has 6 movement points, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, you can get there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You can ignore this because this guy is already engaged with another creature. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then the spider attacks the wizard, which is not good. I only have a dagger, so that is not a good thing. Well, I mean, okay, I got a fighting value of 4, but a -1 because of the dagger. So let's see. That is bad. That is really bad. Why do I only have 4 fortune? I think I should have 6. I'm pretty sure I didn't use that until now, but I might I might use it now. It's kind of sucks. So yeah, I think I'm going to use the fortune now. And I'm going to re-roll the creature's attack. Okay, so yeah, I'm fine here. And by the way, we killed already 1 spider, so we get a point for that. Okay, so no damage against the wizard here. And now we got to find a way to, yeah, to kill these spiders. So the next, oh, I guess actually we are already in the, I forgot to do this once for the start of the last turn. So now we're in the next turn, and I'm going to start with the wizard, with the dwarf here. So yeah, the dwarf simply attacks. He's got a -1 modifier, but let's hope for the best anyway. And that is good. I mean, his attack wasn't that great, but the enemy was even worse. So we were lucky here, and that gives us now, we hit with the double-headed axe. So that, but we are weakened because of -1 to strength, because of the poison. So that means we got a 3, so it's 5 points, 5 damage points that we do, or 5 damage dice, and a -1 against armor. So if we're a little lucky here, we can kill that spider. Oh, that wasn't that great. No, we didn't do that. So it's only 3 hits. But hey, that's something. Sorry. The wizard, she's going to use her dagger again against the spider. And that worked out. Did it? Well, maybe not. I got a -1. Oh boy, that's tough. So that means we both got 8. My combat rating is 4. The combat rating of the spider is only 3. So I win. Yeah, I won that battle. And that means I can do a damage of 3 damage dice. That is not bad. These are 2 hits. So that's actually fine. Okay, Crapley has the option, because of his stealth ability, he can ignore once per turn the spider's melee range. So he can simply move away from the spider, and then he's allowed to shoot. You cannot shoot if you are adjacent to a target, but now he can. So he now uses the short bow, and he's got a 5 in shooting, so I guess there is no modifier here. So I'm pretty sure we simply have a 5. Give me the 5. Which we do have. And then we do 2 dice of damage. Because I'm small. So yeah, it's only 2 damage dice. Maybe I should have used the scimitar, but it's too late for that now. I don't even know if it would have been possible. Okay, anyway, I have 2 damage dice here, so let's hope we're lucky. It's gonna be hard to kill the spider, but damn it, 1 damage. So the spider is still alive. Both have now exactly 3 wounds, so we didn't quite make it. But there's an interesting thing going on now, because when you fight animals and vermins, and that is the case here, at the beginning of the activation, if wounded and with enemies of the same or larger size and line of sight, it must perform a courage test. If failed, it will move as far away from them as possible, never running, disengaging automatically. Okay, so that means now we can start with this spider here, and it has to pass a courage test, which is not that hard. I mean, it's a 4, so it needs only a 6. Oh, it's a blunder! Awesome! Total shock for the spider. So that means the spider will actually move away as far as possible. So it's an interesting question, because this is also an enemy. So I guess it will move here in the corner. Then it's 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces away from her. And yeah, I'm pretty sure about that. So the spider will move, I guess, here in the corner. So that is pretty cool, because that gives us now the time to, for example, throw another dagger or something. So that definitely will help. And he could also simply shoot at that creature. So we're good. And the same thing happens here. So we'll see if the other spider, she might also be impressed by the dwarfs. Not this time. Okay. But I think this guy is not that dangerous, because the dwarf is already poisoned. So we're going to only see the fight here between the dwarf and the spider. And that isn't great. It's another success by the spider. So again, we're going to see 3 damage dice. Okay, and it's again 1 hit. Okay, another wound here. Okay, well, we go into the next turn, I guess. So again, I'm going to start with the dwarf attacking that spider. And this is interesting, look at that. Let's see, so the dwarf, he's got a -1 modifier, and because of the poison, and he again has a -1 modifier because of the double-headed axe. So that brings him down, he's got an 11 plus 3 is a 14, while the spider has a combat value of 4. So that means the spider wins, but that, yeah, I mean, it's doesn't hurt the dwarf for now, at least. Now, It's a little tricky what I want to do. You know, I think I move... It's a little bit of a risk, throwing that arrow here. You know, actually I can do that in a clever way. I'm going to move with him 1, 2, that's actually, I guess it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then I'm going to shoot that guy here. So I guess I get a -1 modifier for moving, but that's pretty much it. So I think I'm going to need a 6 here, which I have, and that gives me now 2 damage dice against the creature. Okay, great, there we go. This is it. I managed to kill the second spider. And now I'm actually, I'm going to turn around here. No, I cannot do that after the action. That is not possible, I think. And now, you know what I want to do? I think I'm going to move with her 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces, and I'm going to turn around. Whatever that's worth. So now I'm out of range here. Yeah. Okay, I think... Yeah, that's pretty much it here. And now the spider will activate here. And we got to roll again. If the spider even wants to attack, it needs to pass the courage roll. And and this time it does. So it moves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces, I guess. It could also move here. The question is, who does he want to attack now? The one with the lowest armor. This will be this guy here. So it's 1, 2, 3. Wait a minute, he can move this way here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's a little tricky. Let's hope. Maybe that wasn't that clever. But here's the thing. It's not an attack from... It's tricky. Can I... No, I think I cannot do a defensive shot here because the guy just jumps around the stone. You know, actually, I wonder if he attacks from here, which he can do. But that gives him a -1. So I guess... I mean, but it also gives him a +1, I think, because he attacks from behind. So I guess he will actually attack from here. It keeps him out of distance from these guys. And he can attack... It doesn't give him a disadvantage because he simply attacks from behind. Now that is not great because I don't want to get poisoned too. So let's see. Shit. So, yeah, that's pretty bad. That's an 8. Shit. Yeah, it seems I have to... That's really, really ugly. That is so bad. That was a stupid move. Is there anything... I mean, I could reroll that. But I don't really want to. Because it's an 8 that I'm going to have to beat. And a 5 is really bad. I got 6 points. You know, maybe I should give it a try. I think I'm gonna try. Maybe I'm very lucky. I think I only need a 7 because no, this. Yeah, actually that's true. I only need a 7. The spider has a 3, and I have a 4, so I need a 7 to get into a draw, which would be good enough. And a 7 is realistic. So I think I'm gonna re-roll this die, and yeah, now I need a 7. That would be very helpful. And I have a 7. Wow, that's just great. So awesome, just fantastic. That means it's a draw, but I have a better agility than the spider, so therefore I'm fine here. Okay, so now it's me again, and we go into the next turn here, and I think we can already be pretty sure that we're not going to beat the dark player here. But if we accomplish the mission, that's going to be good enough for me. So I think what I want to do is yeah, I think I'm simply going to move here with the dwarf and do an attack. So let's see. That is a success, and now the spider is in deep trouble because I get about six dice, if I'm not mistaken here. Okay, that is clearly enough. So yeah, I managed to kill the spider. So it was doable, but it was not great. I had to spend, I don't know, I think 2 fortune, something like that. And I have to spend my healing potion if I want to get rid of the poison condition, which I want to do definitely toward the end of the scenario, because then I need my full strength with the dwarf. Okay, but at least we managed to destroy these guys. We still have all our spells, and I think we are not in a terrible shape. And you know what? I'm actually deciding I'm not going to go for this. So I'm going to take my time now. I'm going to reload, for example. I'm going to simply spend an action to reload this. So this brings us now into the next turn. Well, does it? No, actually, he still has an action left. So yeah, I'm going to reload this just like that. And now it's her, and she could now, for example, give the dwarf a couple of potions. I'm gonna count all the how much he's carrying, and so that he's not over his limit here. I gotta check that out. Okay, I realized I'm wearing far too much stuff. I should not have been able to wear all that crap. I mean, you can, but then you get some negative modifiers and all. So I'm wearing, I mean, these two things alone weigh 11, right? And I can only carry 18. So maybe I'm okay, but I don't think so. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So actually it's not so bad. Maybe I want to drop something. Maybe I don't know if I really want to take the rope with me. it's heavy and I don't know. Yeah, so also she had one too much. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to discard the rope. Then it's fine. And then I was not cheating because I didn't use that thing. I mean, I might regret that now, but whatever. I want to get rid of this stuff. And the thing is, I think as long as I keep that condition, I can carry less because the amount of stuff I can carry depends on my strength. Oh boy, I gotta calculate that now again. I gotta find somehow the rules, how that exactly works. Okay, so again, this is getting a little tricky. So the maximum stuff, you have a carrying limit, and the maximum numbers, so the maximum weight you can carry is your strength plus your vitality, and you add that, the sum of these two, and that then times 2. So therefore the sum would be 9, and so 18 is the overall weight limit. If he exceeds that, that means he basically gets the condition stunned, so he has a -1 penalty on a lot of his abilities. There are rules that he could exceed this twice and stuff like that, and then it's getting even worse. But if he just exceeds it a little bit, it's basically a -1 penalty. Now here's the thing. So right now he does exceed it because he has to subtract 1 from his strength because of the poisoned thing. Okay, that makes sense. So I guess I'm going to drink maybe I'm not going to drink the healing potion right now. I guess I don't care if I get stunned right now. Let's see. So the other thing is, and that's more important to me, for example, if I get rid of this stuff, it would mean that I would be back at my full strength. But then if I take a wound, does that mean I have less vitality and I can carry less? Now, thematic, that seems like it kind of makes sense. However, that would be very fiddly because then whenever you take a wound, you basically have to carry in general less if you want to avoid penalties when you're taking wounds. Because if I would be at my maximum carrying limit and I would take a wound, I would immediately get an additional penalty for carrying too much stuff. So I think that's actually not the case. I think the vitality doesn't change when you take wounds. I think the vitality basically tells you how many wounds you can take, and it stays always the same. And if you have a number of wounds equal to your vitality, you die. But that's what I think. So I guess that you will not take, that wounds will not be subtracted from your vitality when it comes to this carrying issue here. So therefore, I got a -1 strength because of the poison, which means I basically get twice the stun condition, so I'm -2 on all my options, which is pretty bad. I can only move 3 spaces now. So I'm actually considering, I could even give something to somebody else and let him carry it for me, or I could drink the healing potion right away. It kind of sucks, but I think I'm going to drink the healing potion right now. It removes 4 points and also the poison condition. So that means all these problems are gone. And it's a little bit of a shame, of course, because it's a healing potion and, I'm basically spending it on 2 points, which is not a good thing, but still, it makes life much easier for me. And we should remember that there is only 1 point left here. So it's not that dangerous now. I mean, that will probably increase again, but maybe if we're lucky, we will not have to face too many enemies until we come to the main guy. Okay, now we're at the end of the turn, and not quite yet though. We can also, and I think she can do that. I think she didn't do an action yet. Well, I'm not sure, but I don't think she did. She just did a quick action and gave the healing potion to him. So she can also carry, she can search the bodies for treasure. Now it seems a little odd that you can search spiders for treasure, and maybe that doesn't make a lot of sense. But on the other hand, we could argue that maybe there are, you know, maybe there is the spider's den or something, and the victims, right? I mean, we have a skeleton here, and so maybe there are victims lying around there, and maybe they've kind of, they lost their riches. So we can roll 3 dice, and maybe we can find something here. Okay, 1 coin, that isn't too bad. That's something. Okay, cool. So this is it, and now we go into the next turn, and this is now turn 10 already, if I'm not mistaken here. As I said, I don't think it's going to be that important, because I have really my doubts that we can actually beat the dark player here. So I'm simply going to move on with him 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to activate the next area now. Okay, so again we go to the app, we explore the section, and look at that. It's another outdoor section here. So let's get the right tile. So let's see, we roll a die and let's hope we don't get any enemies. Okay, so we were lucky here. Oh shit, you know what? I forgot to roll this die. I forgot to roll that die during the combat turns. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I try to fix that a little bit. I think it's not such a big deal because this, he probably, well, we'll see. Kind of sucks. So I'm gonna roll it now. I think we had basically 3 combat turns, if I'm not mistaken. So let's see, I'm gonna roll it the first time, and we have one of these. So let's draw the top card. Okay, he couldn't have played that because it would cost him 2, so he's had to discard it, and that means that that would give him 2 more points. Ah, damn it. Okay, and then we had the second combat turn, I guess. And this time was nothing, and the third combat turn, okay, that was another one. Ah, that sucks. And let's see what it is. Okay, he could not have played that. That would have been 6. So, but it gives him 6 points. So now it's a bad thing because now he can actually again play creatures against us. He has 9 points now. That was really, really bad. Okay, right, that means we got to be super careful now. So we're going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Still in the safe zone, and he moves. He could actually run. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So he moves here. And then we start the next turn. Okay, and yeah, as I said, I'm not going to take any risks. I'm not going to run or something. I'm just going to try to... I mean, this is really... this is pretty ugly. I'm actually considering maybe even taking these risks, because otherwise he can save all that stuff for all the points for creatures at the end of the game, which is dangerous. But maybe if I risk a trap or something, maybe that's... I don't know. You know what? I think I'm going to go for it. I'm going to run with this guy. Running is tricky. No, I cannot afford to run. Running makes it even harder for me because you get a -2 bonus when you modifier when you run, and you have to make a perception test. So I think that's a pretty bad idea. So I'm just going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But I only get a 5, so I'm just going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm just going to move here, and that's it. And now she will move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I guess. If I'm not mistaken, that should be her movement value. Yeah. And then it's the dwarf. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. He moves here. And we start another turn. And it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to reveal the next section. Okay, now I guess this is an indoor section, right? And therefore there is darkness in there. That's a special rule of the card, of the scenario. So now we're going to roll a die, and we see, okay, no enemy here. So we can now move 1, 2, 3, 4. It's an interesting question if this space here would be still the safe zone. Huh. Now that is a real tricky question. Well, I guess not. I mean, you cannot walk like this. It's a tough call. It really is. I don't know that. But I don't think so. I don't think so. Okay, and now he moves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces. I can only move 5 spaces. But I could run. But I'm also considering giving maybe him... I cannot do that. You know, I might actually move only here and maybe give him another potion, because I want to equip him for the final battle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. What? No. That's the money. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6. He's carrying 17. He can carry up to 18. So we can give him a potion, and I'm going to give him the heroic potion. Awesome. Okay. So it's the next turn. And now this guy will again move 1, 2, 3, 4, and he's going to reveal the next section. Okay, this is again a long corridor here, and now let's see. There were no enemies here and there were no enemies here. That means we got to roll twice for this section, and it is really likely that we're going to get some enemies in this corridor here. Okay, so let's see. Okay, the first one not. Another one. Okay, yeah. So we're going to have another encounter here. So let's draw a card. And it's again an enemy spotted. Not good at all. So these are again 6 points that this guy has to pay. And this time he can afford it. And let's see what we're going to have to face here. So again, we have to add 1 to the result. Oh, come on, this is so bad. It's a 6 this time, and these are again another 3 spiders. So yeah, definitely pretty unlucky here. It wasn't actually clear that we had to pay 6 points. It could have been even worse with 4 great spiders. So in this case, we're going to see another spider, and that is really bad because, well, it is not unlikely that we might get another poison condition, but okay, such is life. So let's see how to place these guys. Okay, so if it's a corridor, it works a little different, and this is the case here. Corridor are these narrow ones that are just 2 spaces wide. So if it's a corridor, they are placed at the furthest end. So it starts back here, the first one, then the second one is placed here, and the last one is placed here. Okay, cool. Now that is interesting. Okay, so that's the situation, and you know, actually, again, I think this is a great time for a cliffhanger. So I guess I want to load this up at that point. We're facing here again these guys, and I wonder how long it will take until we meet the final boss. I hope it's not too long. Now we have a little bit of a problem. We're in darkness. That means she is lost in the dark, which is, it's not terrible, but it's a -1 to all attributes basically. So that's not so good. So it's going to be a little harder for her to fight these guys, but the others don't have that issue. Okay, so yeah, gonna load this up. Hope to see you on the next video or on lonesomegamer.com. Bye.